just from the ground up, I would basically create like a sort of a mini use case or job to be done, or however, whatever terminology you want to make, through the entire sequence of a customer journey. And then I would start thinking about what the easiest ones are to make into agentify or whatever. And that is a balance between effort and value. And that will probably be a multi-year journey. And even when we have a solution, there's a large percentage that it will be replaced in the next year or so by something that is even better. Um, so that's a very abstract, piece, Julia, but I mean, we can get into specifics. I think obviously we're seeing just tremendous, like last year, I feel like it was the age of the agent on the engineering side. We saw tremendous step functions in the productivity of engineering teams with Cursor and Claude and some other tools. We were aggressively looking for any example in the portfolio, in our LP base, outside of our LP base, anything around go to market, and they were hard to come by. And I know we've started to see, we're hoping that this year is going to be the year. But I do think the lowest hanging fruit obviously is in some of the prospecting arenas of like ICP identification, identification of contacts, creation of personalized outreach, perhaps the orchestration of that outreach. Um, and I'm hoping that we're going to see more on the actual sales, like belly to belly sales piece too. Like having seen like 700 of these go-to-market agents in the last year as we evaluate them for investments, I do think like the path is probably like you have to create like real but safe sandboxes. So let me give you an example of like if the aspiration is to have an agent manage the call, then we can basically hire that agent first to like um, sit on the call as a sales engineer, right? That's pretty low risk. I'm a rep and I'm running a call. Maybe I'm a newer rep, and maybe the customer asks me a question about like, do we have a case study in this area, or does the product do this, or a question that I normally wouldn't know. I'd have to note it and then go talk to a PM or something. That would be a great role for an agentic engineer that could be live on the call. And in that situation, if hallucinations were to occur, I have a human there to like stop it, right? And it's a very safe, pretty safe place for them to get at bats. If you want to go even safer, you can do it on internal training, so it's not even customer facing. But then once that happens, and many of these larger companies have so many at bats that happen quickly, you could get comfortable enough that they switch roles, where the agent is running the call and the human is the engineer, half playing customer facing sales engineer and half playing like human in the loop, making sure the agent's performing well. And they could be like, logging optimizations that can be then embedded into the learning module and the algorithm to make it better and better. A quarter or two go by, and suddenly you might be comfortable let the agent do it on its own. So that's just an example of how we can get creative around an aspirational goal and a path to get there in a safe way that allows us to train them with human in the loop and to mitigate risks around customer facing situations.